Hey, Lori. Uh, okay, Lori. So, for who do know me, they know that I started a mission driven social enterprise called Dollar Soul. Look it up at dollarsoul.com. You know, what I do is I sell pairs of socks, nice socks like this, for the lowest I can. And for every pair purchased, I donate a pair to the community. Right now, I'm only focusing on my local area, which is Charlotte, North Carolina, and Fort Mill, South Carolina, Rock Hill, the area around it. But if you go to my site and you scroll down on the home page, you can also refer an organization of your choice as well. I did that so that way I can open up the opportunity for people, because I do have people buying and supporting me from other states. I open up the opportunity for people to, let me try to make this so you can see a little bit more. For people in other states to also support organizations around them, local to them. I've been getting a lot of good reviews on these socks. I actually wear these socks myself. They're very comfortable, soft, and I plan on scaling and getting different kinds of socks. I had people in the beginning, when they seen the socks, and they'll tell me, nah, those not my type of socks. I don't like those type of socks. So what I did was I passed out sample socks, I passed out sample socks to the same ones that was saying that they would not buy these type of socks. And all of a sudden they love them. Oh, these socks are so nice, once they got the feel of them and all that. So, I'm a guy, I want to find affordable options for people to give back to the community. But I'm not going to give you no low quality product. I make sure I keep my product up, my quality up. It got to be worthwhile, Just because it's cheap don't mean it's made cheaply. I'm not doing that to people, Even back in the days when, for a little bit of history on me, I'm justice impacted. I will never hide that. I made a lot of wrong choices, wrong decisions in my life for trying to take care of my family and my responsibilities and get the fast money. And even back then, I would not give you low quality products. I just wouldn't, even in that lifestyle that I was living. But this go round, I'm older, I'm more mature, I'm trying to get my life in a better direction. I'm trying to use my background and my history to feed and inspire the communities that I know of to do better. When people come home from prison, they know that they have an opportunity to do better in life. They don't have to keep going back to the same madness. You know what I mean? They don't get you anywhere, except either dead or in jail. And I've been blessed to live. I've been blessed to come home, not be sentenced to life, and get to see my children again and still be loved by my children. And I finally got I got my first grandchild, which is a blessing for me. I got to be here for my grandchild's birth, And I got a child on the way too, you know what I mean? After 20 years of, my youngest child is 20 years old. He's about to turn 20 in a few days. And they're all excited that they're about to have a brand new sister. I got a baby girl on the way. And, I get another chance at life. And what I want to do by selling these socks and donating socks to people is give them, no pun intended, but pun intended, a way to step forward too, You'd be surprised how many people request socks in homeless shelters and prisons and, just all type of environments where people don't have socks on their feet and they're at least donated. You see a lot of clothing drives and such like that, but you don't see many socks being given out because, they can't be reused. So people are not donating socks too quick, you know what I mean? And then you do have companies that are mission driven, like Bombas, you got a conscious step, but they outprice the people that do want to give back. You know what I mean? They charging $12, $18, $20 for a pair of socks. I mean, granted, they have some very good quality socks that they put a whole lot of technology advances in, and I'm not to that level yet. But either way, they're outpricing the people that's trying to give back, that would like to support their cause. And, they got people that pay for it. But me, I found the gap. They got the premium consumers. I found the gap for the people that can't afford to buy no $12 pair of socks, I can give you a pair of socks for less. And while you're buying a pair of socks, you can feel comfortable that an equal pair of socks is going to somebody that can't afford a pair of socks, that could use a pair of socks. And I've been there, you know what I mean? I've been there where having holes in my socks, and I might even have a decent pair of shoes on, but my socks got a hole in it and it's very uncomfortable, or I didn't have a sock at all. And that's very uncomfortable. I mean, some people can walk around with no socks on their feet. But what if you need to wear a pair of socks, So this is what I'm doing. I have white pairs of socks, black pairs of socks, grays, women's size, men's sizes. They pretty much fit. They're adjustable. They're one size fit all for the most part. I actually got some on my feet right now. Let's show you. That's very comfortable. These are very comfortable socks. And most children that are, teenage years or preteens, they can wear them too, I don't have children's size socks just yet, like the little children's size socks just yet. But like I said, this is a very new business. It's gaining traction. I got a lot of great reviews on it. And I'm big on that, I want to honestly help the communities, the communities that's similar or are the same communities that I came from, that I know the struggle of. And I want to give them some great quality things for the best price I can possibly give them, So I'm working my way up. I'm gonna have different products, different price tiers eventually, But as of today, I got a meeting scheduled for tomorrow to go to meet a guy with Samaritan's Feet International. Now, if you don't know Samaritan's Feet International has served, let me pull it up, has served hundreds of millions of people all across the world, What they do is they donate sneakers to people in need. The founder is from Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. And he has a whole, ceremony where he even washes the people's feet. And then he provides them with a pair of shoes to wear, nice shoes too, not even no bummy looking shoes. I even seen Under Armour on there. They really do a lot for the community, and they have a headquarters out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I reached out to them. I'm like, hey, you're doing almost the same thing I'm doing. You're putting you're putting something to cover people's souls. You're helping people walk comfortably, and you're missing the socks. You got the footwear, the sneakers, and I have the socks. So how can we partner? So I actually got somebody's attention in there, and just pray that works out for me, because if it does, then I can really make some better moves happen, because now I have some big support, because they're a very big organization. Let me see, I'm looking at them right now. If you go to SamaritansFeet.org, you can check them out, see what they do, how well they provide for the people and everybody. They inspire hope to people every day. And what I'm trying to do is restore dignity to people every day. There should nobody be walking around in this world and can't afford a pair of socks, or don't have a pair of socks, feeling uncomfortable because their feet is not really properly covered. I just donated a pair of socks. Well, I gave. I don't want to say donated. Well, I'll donate once I get to the certain milestone of orders I'm looking for, and I can drop off a large batch to people. That's called donation to me. But right now, I seen a homeless guy yesterday, and I seen him a few times, around the way, around the food line. And, the thing about him is, I see him sitting there, just sitting on the corner, and I just catch eye contact with him. And, I nod my head, or I wave at him. He'll wave back. But I never seen him ask anybody for anything. Never. I never seen him ask anybody for anything. And, hopefully, I don't know, maybe he's not homeless, but he looked like he could have, used a help, some help. So I pulled up to him yesterday. I said, you know what? Hey, I'll be back. And he was like, okay. Came back, went into the stash, maybe working from home right now, Once it, a lot of spots started from home. I know a candy factory I used to work in New York started in their basement. So, my little warehouse is right here right now. But I have hundreds and hundreds of pairs of socks properly stored away. And I found a couple for him. A few pairs, went back to him, and I gave it to him, man. He was very appreciative, He was very appreciative. He threw them in his bag. I made sure, people ask, why did you give him a pair of white socks? You should have just gave him black socks. But I don't want him to feel no different than anybody else. He deserves a pair of clean white socks too. Just because he lives on the streets don't mean just give him these black dark looking socks, So, oh snap, my cat is in there. Hold on, give me a second. Luna, you was in there this whole time? Luna. Yeah. Sorry, we'll get a better couch later, but that's his favorite hiding spot. Come on. Say hey, Luna. No? Okay. Watch out. That's his favorite little spot he likes to go into. I'll be right back. Come on. Now I hold this near and dear to me. Sorry about that. My cat, he be everywhere. But I hold this near and dear to me because, like I said, I've been without too many times. And then, like I said, I've been in trouble a lot in my life, you know what I mean? In my past, making a lot of stupid decisions as a youth. And I've taken away from my community rather than, give to my community. So this is my way of changing that narrative and giving back, So let me mark these first. Like I said, we're starting from bottom right now. So until I can get separate labels that say men and women, how I mark the men's socks is put a little dot on them. So that way I know these are men, and the ones that's for women, they don't have dots. So eventually we're gonna scale our way to having all the proper packaging necessary for everybody to feel like they're Jordans or some type of proper name brand. But the point is this, I'm not selling socks. I'm selling some dignity for people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm restoring dignity to the individual that don't even have a pair of socks, Brand new pair of socks, comfortable, very great quality, called Soul Con. Very comfortable, very comfortable. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I got them on my feet. It's the first time I actually put them on my feet. I've given out a lot of socks and was like, all right, I can't, wear my own inventory. It's almost like Biggie said, don't get high on your own supply. But that's just not the way you should think nowadays. If you're not comfortable on your own, why would you sell it in live box? So, like I said, I got them on my feet right now. And if you didn't see it, let me show you again. Bam! Soul Con socks, comfortable, very comfortable. So now I can speak from experience of actually have worn these socks. And they're great socks. So we have deals on the website. You go to dollarsoul.com. You can also follow my page, my other TikTok page, a couple of socks. Probably look it up. I'll probably type it under this. And you got the website link right on that page. So if you get the socks through the website, you also get a subscription option to where you can get discounted offers, discounted prices. If you subscribe. So then you'll have guaranteed socks coming at your door, but also you're guaranteed to be helping people out, Guaranteed to be helping people out. For every pair of socks you get, even if you get a bundle, a 6-pack, you know what I mean? For every pair of socks you get, you buy a 6-pack, 6 pair of socks are going towards people that need it. So that's 6 people that have a pair of free socks. I've lived in homeless shelters before. Matter of fact, moving to New York when I was a kid from Atlanta, my mother was running from not only my abusive father, he's changed now. I hate to put his business out there, but when I was a kid, he was abusive. but also from my abusive stepfather. And she left Atlanta, where I was born, even though they was from New York. And she left Atlanta, came back up to New York around family. And, family be family. And we wound up finding ourselves in the shelter at some point. So I've been in shelters. And really shelters thrive off of help from other organizations. They give you the housing of some sort, you know what I mean? I remember when we was in the EAU. I don't know if it's still called that, but I remember it. I don't even ever knew what it stood for, to be honest. And you're sleeping on the floor, a big old room. Sleeping on the floor and had the snatch chairs that we can find available, and my mother trying to make pallets for us to sleep on with the chairs and all that stuff. Point being is, I know the struggle. I remember having dirty socks on my feet, trying to clean them, trying to hand wash them, but they just look dirty anyway. You know what I mean? They might be all weirded shaped. You got a big fat toe, like a lot of my family members got. We got this Reeves toe, we call it, and like my cousin, his sock, used to take his sock off and you just see his sock laid out on the joint, on the floor, wherever it's at, with the big toe print in it. Anyway, look like his foot's still in there. But either way, when you don't have a good pair of socks, clean pair of socks, it makes a difference. How good you feel when you got something new on. You know what I mean? It matters even down to the sock. So the goal is with Dollar Soul is to have the most affordable socks we can have. I tried to really start Dollar Soul to be literally $1 per sock, but price margins, profit margins wouldn't let it work for me, It wasn't possible. And I started to see why Dollar Tree had changed their price up. But either way, I still kept it as low costing as possible so that way it could still grow. About to come home, so she'll probably be loud as crap. Hey, Loki, hold on. Give me a second. Hey, relax. Let me see if I can talk good. Hold on. Opening the door for you. At least you got your key locked. And I appreciate you locking the door back this morning. I peeped that. But yeah, try to keep it as low as possible, especially, not necessarily to be a stock company that outdoes the competition. What I'm trying to do really is offer or fill the gap that isn't filled, I'm not competing with Bombas. I'm not competing with Conscious Step. What I'm doing is joining the same mission as them and trying to help people, that don't have. And I'm just trying to do it and provide for the consumer that's probably not able to afford theirs. You know what I mean? You can afford mine's a little bit better. And maybe somebody might come later with a better deal, But right now, I probably cut the competitor's price down by 60 to 80%. So, of course, you want to come and make all the noise while we're live. And she want to sing. She could sing pretty good, too. All right.
We're doing chorus, and I'm going to Jolly Rancher because I know how to divide by 2, unlike some people.
I am on live, though, so everybody can hear you. Yes, that's what I was saying. Don't worry, that's my daughter.
Hi.
I even got a rose. Somebody gave me a rose.
Oh.
That was nice. That was nice. I appreciate it.
Whatever she knows. At least the person he's talking to knows that the smartness probably just runs in the family.
I'm talking to a bunch of people. Actually, I'm not talking to anybody right now. They're jumping in and they're jumping off. But somebody gave me a rose and I feel happy about it. Really, I'm just letting people know about Dollar Soul and what the future is for Dollar Soul. We're about to have a nonprofit arm called One Soul at a Time. Once we start that, it's going to open doors to all type of things, because I'm also trying to help the justice impacted people that just come home and, need opportunities. Man. It's hard to get back on your feet and stay positive when you don't have opportunities, no doors that's opening for you. You got barriers left and right. You can also read about that on Dollar Soul too. I have blogs at the bottom of the site. And I wrote something recently about the systemic barriers, blocking the justice impacted. And I can speak from experience. Like I said, this whole business is based off of my experiences. I grew up a lot without not much. My mother tried her best, and she had us really doing real good. After the shelter, we was doing okay, But she had to work 3-4 jobs, so I had to be the oldest to take care of my sisters, and all they knew was me. They also said I was kind of like their father figure because I was always there watching them. I couldn't leave school and go to the park like the rest of the kids because I had to go pick my sisters up and take them home and watch them until my mother was able to come home from all the jobs she had. So it looked good, but then, there's a lot of responsibility came with that. But the struggle was real, and I respect the struggle because you grow from the struggle. But that don't mean that the help was definitely needed. I remember the Blimpie around the corner from us used to always see that I was, responsible with my sisters. And, my mother did her best to keep a roof over our head and keep us in nice clothes and such, but sometimes the food wasn't there. And the Blimpie around the corner, I don't know if y'all remember Blimpies before Subways really took over. Blimpie around the corner used to always see me with my sisters and respected us so much that they used to give us sandwiches and stuff like that to eat. And I respect them to this day for that. So point being is, when you can give back to people, you never know how much you touched them. So therefore, like I said, I'm wearing a pair of these socks today. I finally blessed myself to wear a pair of Soul Kind socks. And they feel great on my feet. I want to see. Look at these joints right here. These joints is comfortable, man. They feel good too. So I'm not giving y'all low quality socks. I'm just trying to give it to y'all for the best price possible. Go to dollarsoul.com and also check out Samaritan's Feet. Like I said, they want to have a meeting with us tomorrow and talk some business. Whether that goes well for us or not, I believe in what they're doing, and I believe we're perfectly aligned with our mission. So I feel like we should do great business together. But if it don't, I respect what they're doing. And check them out, Samaritan's Feet International. They provide socks to people, not socks, they provide sneakers to people in need that don't have it. And I got the socks. So let's bring it together, man. I just wanted to put y'all on live for a second. Y'all can see the hands-on approach to the sock prep right now. One day I'll have employees and, maybe my daughter, she can run it. Have employees at the warehouse and all that good stuff. But right now it's hands-on. This whole experience is hands-on experience. And like I said, I gave a guy yesterday a few pairs of socks that looked like he could use them, and he was pretty happy about that. So that made me feel good. But I'm about to wrap this up. Family is home. I'm not just talking to myself no more. I'll talk to y'all later, and thank you for the love. Whoever sent me a rose, that was dope. I like that. Hold on, how you get out of here? Love, I'll be back on another time.